Hi, thanks for joining me today for another 5-minute memo Monday. There was a while back, I actually adopted a dog, and the dog's name when I got her was Precious, and I changed her name. I could not imagine myself going outside and saying, "Here, Precious, here, Precious." Besides that, it always confused me about why the people who owned her called her Precious and then tied her up outside on a dirt pile. But that's a different story. I changed her name. And once she learned her name, when I called, she came. She responded to me. I had authority over her, especially if I had a dog treat in my hand. Today, I want to talk to you about how if you name it, you have authority over it. And what I'm talking about is the necessity to come out of denial about things that have happened in your life or how the things that have happened have impacted you. Denial works for a time. I remember when my kids were in college, I was in denial and sure that all they were doing was studying, not doing any of that partying stuff. Denial can work for a short time, but when you're living out of denial, the things that you're trying to deny are the things that are actually in control. No matter what we go through, we end up telling ourselves something. Mindsets born of trauma, things like I don't measure up, might not be worth loving. Those type of mindsets that we don't recognize, that we deny, that we don't name, actually drive our behaviors and our emotions. They're in charge. Things like unprocessed pain. We have a tendency in our culture to have a belief that I should just get over it or pull myself up and keep on going. But what that does is it means that you carry with you the impact, whether it is unprocessed pain, whether it is a mindset, whether it is responsibility that's not yours, but it's like it's all piled up behind you and you're dragging it with you and it's speaking to you and it's whispering to you, do this, don't do that. And it's actually in charge. So there comes a time when it's important to stop, to maybe look back, maybe look inside and find out what's driving some of the things that you're doing. Name it. And when you name it, it's like you stop and you go, no, I'm in charge now. You have authority over it. When you acknowledge it, when you face the reality, one of the important steps I want you to get used to is to embrace and acknowledge the emotion that's connected to whatever you're facing. Because every emotion has a message. There's an important message behind an emotion. So when you decide that you're going to stop, you're going to name that conversation with your friend left you feeling disrespected or disregarded, when you know what the emotion's telling you, then you have power. Then you can decide, okay, in that conversation, I left hurt because I was disrespected. You then have power to decide what you're going to share with that friend and what you're not going to share with that friend. You have authority over the reaction. You have authority over that pain, and you translate it and form it into a sense of power so that you're not just going through life doing it, but actually impacting it. So the message for today, the memo message for today is stop, name it, get authority over it, so you're the one in power. Thanks for listening. See you next week.